You're listening to the RAD Podcast. Explore wealth.
Different model, a different way of doing business. Parts of the country, 24/7, 7 days a week. I was just done with the gurus. If somebody gives me $30,000 to $50,000, that should be a lifetime relationship for Podcast Nation. Because if you give me that kind of money, I have an obligation, in my opinion, a responsibility to see you succeed.
So we are leaving the hotel right after you guys are done eating, and we're going to go on our first excursion, fun thing of the weekend. We're also going to one of my favorite places in the world to eat for dinner, which is truly an experience, and it'll be a lot of fun. But our afternoon is filled with some fun things. But before we get there, and then tomorrow is going to be really intense. So what I will say to you is we're going to have fun together this afternoon. We're going to have a great dinner, but then get your butts to bed, right? I know it's Vegas. I know it's easy. You get caught on a slot or a blackjack table till, 2, 3, 6, 8 a.m. So, get to bed, get your rest, because tomorrow's a full day. It's really, we're going content from beginning to end all day long, and it's pretty intense. So, but what I want to do is I want to go ahead and bring, one of our Inner Circle members up here, and I'm going to be up here a little bit to ask him questions or no, not really. I'll just let him talk and let you guys ask questions. Isn't that better? Yeah. We'll let you guys ask questions. And, Alberto's, really been a really great member of the Inner Circle. And what I mean by that is, he's done a lot of deals with us over the last 2 years. He's referred us other Inner Circle members which have joined the family as well. And, he's helped us with rehabbing on different things and helped us with quotes out in California. And that's been really, really kind of a cool different thing, and giving us advice on different things, but just being a part of the community, talking to us about, things that we could improve on, we could get better on over the years, and just that great synergy that I want, from my Inner Circle members. So with that said, let's give a big hand to Alberto Rodriguez. Come on up.
Do I need to get up there? Really?
You got your clicker?
Do I need to get up there?
You can get up here, yeah.
Okay.
You got to be on stage,
Well,
man.
I have to start by saying that I haven't rehearsed anything, so you're going to...
Amelia, every woman should see their man on stage at least once or twice. So
all of this
is good for you.
started when I went to his office to do a review of my investments, which I do, once in a while, go and meet with him. I guess now I'm going to have to move to Florida to be able to do that. But and then he saw the way I track my investments and how I do it, which is very simple. And he said, I would love for you to share this with the Inner Circle for people to actually see how you do it. And some people might have their own ways of doing it, which are better than yours, or they might want to do it. I'm a big Excel guy. I love Excel and Word, and I like to create things. So I'm very detail-oriented, and I like to track my stuff. So I wanted to have a very simple way, which I call them basically my deal book. So I have one book that I bought in Amazon. It's called Red and Black. It's a really cool book about this big, like 8.5 by 11 or a little bit bigger. And I dedicate one page of that book to each one of my deals. And I do it, again, very simple, nice and easy. It goes from deal 1 to deal 12, 13, basically the number. And I created a simple document. This is just a little bit about me. I'll leave it there while I talk so for you to read it. Basically, it's a single page. It's like half of a page, and I do it the very old way. I'm an old guy. So on this book, on each page, I take this Word document and I print this, and I do everything by hand. You're going to see a sample. I'll wait for a little bit until you finish reading. And in this one page, I basically record the history of the entire deal from the day that I signed the JV agreement, or being, it could be a hard money loan, it could be anything, any investment. I go from day one and all the way until the end. And the cool thing about this book that I found in Amazon is that it's like a rule page. The back of the page, so over time and over the years, as you know, you might have a JV that gets refinanced, you get a cash out of it, or whatever happens, you can keep recording the important things on that deal. So I have just to take one book with me, basically one booklet because it's only like this thick. It has like 40 or 50 pages. And I have everything that I invested with this company in my hand in one book, and I can just go through it. And it tells you from your approximate, net cash flow every month on that property to everything. But it's all done by you, by hand. Very simple, very easy. So this is the half page. It's done in Word. I'm happy to email this to anybody that wants it, because you basically print it and you do it. And the cool thing is, because it's a Word document, if you like to see something different, you can do it yourself. Usually I put a before and an after picture of the property, but when it's a hard money loan and that blank space there, I just write the terms of the loan and what the payments are. And when it's paid off, I just mark it, paid off. I have like 3 of those that are already done and all paid off, hard money loans. So the other page, this is a one page. This was my deal number 2. It's in Philadelphia. And again, if you look at the top of that page is the half page that you saw in the first, is this. Print it, basically, simply just have some manual labor and glue it to the top of that, and they handwrite everything. You can do it. I mean, you can type it up in Word if you want. You prefer that. I'm kind of a simple guy, and I like things in a way that I can remember, and I do my own notes and everything. And again, it's just glue in there, done the stuff. This was a property in Philadelphia that it took about 9 months from beginning to end. And it's been done since August 1st of 2020. In the middle of COVID, this property was rented as producing cash flow every month. So, also, I have an Excel sheet that I created because I wanted to be able to see at any time how much money I invested, how much of that money has been paid back to me, and how much I've been reinvested. So I wanted to see how fast I'm cycling my money, which to me is very important, to cycle the money as many times as you can in 1 year to keep making money. And you finish this deal, they pay you off the hard money loan, and that money, I tell them, don't even give me the money. It's going to go right into this new JV here, and that's how I've been doing it. My wife and I have been doing it, and we've been investing for, like I said, 2 years and 8 months. In 2 years and eight months, this is a sheet from a little while ago. This number right here, which is close to $1 million, that number is already past $1 million, which I never thought some time ago that I would be in this position. I invested with many other companies in the past. For me to actually double my money with one company took me almost 10 years. And at the rate I'm going with Dutch and Amy's company, I could probably double my money in less than 5, which is amazing. So that was it. Very simple. Any questions? Feel free to ask. I'm sorry? The starting number, we started with 200,000. And then we had a house that was free and clear, and we say, we have a house and free and clear, the money's not doing anything, just sitting there. I'm not going to sell the house. I'm going to leave on it. Why not mortgage it, get that money to work, and that added a little bit more to it. So you can say about $500,000. So total. Yeah. That's it. All yours.
You're not getting off that easy. You got to stay up there for a minute. We got questions for you.
Oh, sure.
So talk about the mindset, when you're going through, you're getting to the end of a deal, right? And just talk about, how you progressively start thinking about the next steps and that kind of thing. Because I think that's really good is you're always ready to take the next version or the next step.
I think cycling is the key. And 10 years ago, I had no idea really about any of this. And as we've grown younger, we've started realizing things and learning things that we didn't know. If I would have known a quarter of what I know today in real estate, I probably wouldn't be here. I'll be like retired in an island somewhere. But
I always say retired on an island sounds good, but after like 2 weeks on a beach, you get really bored.
You get bored. I know. Maybe I'll still be here. Who knows? So, I think cycling is what's important. And again, the reason I put all of these together is because I wanted to have a simple tool where I can look at it and in 2 minutes say, all right, here's what I got. This is all I got. Or I'm a real estate agent, so any little extra income, and that's my part-time job. Any income that we get extra, I'm always thinking of I'm always looking at those lists, and sometimes. And the thing about this company is that they have worked with me in ways that no other company has ever done. My deal number one, which is probably something I should mention, it's a triplex in Philadelphia, and we bought it 50-50. It was a triplex that he bought in 2016 at an auction. And they used to buy, when the auctions in Philadelphia were crazy, before even my time, before I came here, they used to buy a lot of property and board it up and just leave it there, because they were paying like nothing for these properties. These triplex cost $10,000. I mean, I live in California. When you say a triplex for $10,000, people look at you. He's nuts. He's crazy. So, but it was basically, we were buying the shell of this piece of architecture. That building, it was the deal number one. That deal has not produced a penny for me. I have made lots of money in a bunch of other deals that paid off immediately and fast. This deal got stuck in there. We got a squatter, a guy that went inside the property, and it took us 2.5 months to get him out. In Pennsylvania, it's called an ejection, right?
Ejection, you have to
an
eject
eviction.
them. Yeah.
So the ejection took about 2.5 months. So that started. I said, all right, let's keep moving. Come on, get it done. And then COVID went, bam! We lost about a year and a half. Basically, the city of Philadelphia shut down completely, 6 times? So everything is permitted, so we could not move. We could not do a thing. We were near the rough inspection, which is when you do all your framing and the rough electrical and rough plumbing is done. That's like the first major big inspection that is done in a permitted job. And it stopped. And, we got to a point that, we have a lot of money invested into this property and nothing is coming back. So he did what he always does. He looked at me, and when I did the first whining, he said, I'll buy you out. And I knew that he wanted that property, because multi-unit properties are incredibly profitable for the REIT and for anybody that has them. But because early on, my wife and I saw the potential of this property, it was our first deal. We said, Dutch, can we buy the second half from you? And he, at that time, agreed. After that, he tried to buy me out 10 times. And I always said no. So we still are the proud owners of a triplex that is all 100% ours. It hasn't produced any money yet, but when it's ready, it was ready for move-in February 1st. They're just finishing up the last details. When that property is all rented and we can put a mortgage on it, it's going to still produce almost $1,000 a month, and I'm going to be able to take all of my money out and some. So the 2 years, 8 months paid off. It's been painful, because I wish I would have had, $200,000 earlier to keep adding to other deals. But, sometimes it's what it is. Like I said, real estate is not perfect. Sometimes deals go. I have deals that I signed the deal, and the next month I got the first distribution. And I said, what? Yeah, the property was already rented. There was a tenant already there. So every deal is different. Everything is different. Sometimes you have to be extra patient with some things. So my deal number 2 was done in 8.5 months and rented. It's been rented ever since and producing, money all the time. got a cash out refinance. I got like a good portion of my original investment back into, and then I put it into all the deals. And you just got to keep cycling the money. Never leave the money. What the guy from the IRA club explained, it's 100% true. It's true. If you have your money sitting in any place but a hard asset, unless you're making 25%, and who is paying you more than, nobody's paying more than 1%, not even a CD in a bank. So putting the money in a hard asset, especially real estate, that is appreciating, is the only way to fight inflation and to continue making money. So
that's good stuff. Give him a hand, everybody. Thank you, Alberto.
thank you.
So one of the things that I always teach my Inner Circle members, but if you guys hear me and you listen to me, I always tell you this, and I tell every single one of you on your welcome call, beware of the home run, right? When you see the deal flow and you see the deal sheets come out, and I say, hey, this one looks better than the rest. Like, it looks absolutely better than the rest on the deals. And because that happens, right? Every time you guys see a deal sheet, you'll see one or two that kind of, I would say just be wary of the home run. The home runs always have more headaches. They have more challenges, something we didn't see, or you couldn't see, right? It might be nothing, maybe it was impossible to see it, but something with that deal, there's something about the energy, right? And I talk about energy sometimes, like sometimes houses do need some sage, and they do need a cleansing from a nun and some other things, right? There's that occasional house, and I don't know what it is that causes that property to be that way, but the properties that are that way, they are that way. And no matter what you do to it, it's best to sell it or best to move on from it. But sometimes, properties turn, and now we've created a new universe for that property. And so I always say that to you, when you look at that list, always be aware of that one that just sparkles that much more than the rest of them, because they always seem to take more time and a little more headache. Now, to be crystal clear, Alberto, probably 12 or 15 times I offered to buy him out of that deal, right? But it's kind of ongoing joke for us, but I would have at any time. If he wanted, he just wanted to stick in it. Give another great example. We had a house stolen from us in Houston, right? And I offered the Inner Circle member to buy out, but he wanted to stick in it with us. It's pretty cool. When we got it back, actually, he had a $60,000 mortgage that got wiped out as a part of the lawsuit we had to do to get the property back from somebody who defrauded a deed. That's only happened to me once in 1,000 transactions where I had a house actually stolen. We offered to buy him out, and he wanted to stay in too. So you always have that option as an Inner Circle member. And I actually remember George and Tammy, they had a deal there, invested with us, and we had offered buyouts on it, and they chose to stay in. And I'll also tell you the truth. So just because I'm buying you out and I want to buy you out doesn't mean I'm not going to say this isn't profitable or this isn't a good deal. I'll say, hey, this is a good deal, but here's the reasons I'm willing to buy you out, and it's your choice what you want to do. I will say typically, though, if I say this is a horror film, get out, just get out. And then move on. And so it's just different situations. And so as you cycle money, as you do deals and different things, I try to make you aware of the situations, because if you're aware of the situations, now as a member, you know what to do in any scenario that we're going through, right? And what I love about today is, one, we're kind of coming to the post-COVID, original COVID world. We're in a new COVID world that's going to continue. The virus, the different things, like those things, they're going to figure out ways to continue, in my opinion, to control society and figure out ways to continue to influence our world. But I also fully believe that there's a new world, a new way of being. It's also like new administration, right? And I try not to be political, right? Trump was one, Biden's another. But the SEC changed the rules when Biden became president. It was different. So how we had to do things as a REIT was different. Some of the ways that we publish things on our websites had to change, and the rules change and the game changes. But as Inner Circle members today, yes, we can't go and buy a triplex right now for $11,000. But you guys have seen deals where you only have to put $15,000 to $20,000 where we're getting a $300,000 property. Now, this is kind of an economic change or an economic shift for you to pay attention to. You are in an equity world right now. During a fast inflation world, you want to have as many dollars working for you as humanly possible. So using bank money to go to work for you is just as good as using your own money to go work for you. And so if we're in a $300,000 property and we have $60,000 out of our own pocket to do that deal in an 80-20, you can have $60,000 working for you, or you can have $300,000 working for you. Now, in a different economy, you wouldn't want to have that kind of leverage, and you wouldn't want to have that kind of thing. You want to focus more on cash flow and less total equity. And so in a depreciating, really rough economy, you might focus a little bit more on being cash flow. That's why, as with our REIT, we're an equity-based REIT. We're acquiring as much equity, putting as much to work to grow our equity positions. But we're also preparing, and we're hedging, right, correctly, that if we need to start shifting to more of a cash flow-based model, we're very prepared to be able to buy big time, right, as the moratoriums pass and things come to pass. I also think we're still a ways away from that. I think the dip we see right now is the first sign of it, but I still think we're 18 months to 2.5 years before we start to see it. It's usually the last year of an election cycle. Go back and study your history and look at the last year of election cycles. Those are always when the biggest dips, when the biggest crashes, when the biggest things hit. And the people that run the world in a way that even someone at my level, right, can't understand, that are behind the World Bank, that are behind trillions of dollars, are people that understand things in a way that you want to pay attention to, you want to watch. It's one of the reasons I went into land and started investing into land. I watched Bezos, Gates, Musk all buy large quantities of land in the United States as things started to happen. I watched Warren Buffett buy gold mines, which is also land, in the middle of things that was going on. And so these are things we're paying attention to, watching at all times. And so, but then we got to go back to the micro level of our individual deals and the individual things that we're doing every single day. And so, tomorrow we're going to go through everything when it comes to the deals. So we're going to spend quite a bit of time going through each type of investment, each way you can invest with.
You're listening to the RAD Podcast, an exploration of wealth, finance, business, and entrepreneurship, hosted by Dutch Mendenhall, founder of RAD Diversified.